Yes. Okay, look who's live. Look who's live. I'm so excited for you guys to join this live and join this conversation. And for those of you guys who are going to be catching the replay, my name is Tenenge Turner. I'm a mindset coach, and just like my bio says, I serve tough love and accountability to women who are at the corner of healing and entrepreneurship. So I want this to be a little bit interactive, okay? Because I know I'm live, Deidre, okay? And so I'm really excited for this live because this topic is really important because we don't talk about the valleys enough. We don't talk about when we lose motivation, when we lose steam, when we fall off, when we're just been feeling off, and how our mental stability or lack thereof really impacts our entrepreneurship journey. But that's my lane. That's what I like to talk about. And so I want to give you guys a very transparent look into, what it has been like for me. The last, baby, I've been feeling off for 45 days. It's been a long time of me feeling off. So yes, when you join in, please hop on. Please say hello. I don't go live often, you guys, but I really want to work this muscle of talking to you guys more often. It's just always awkward with I like to see people when I talk. So it's let me know what you're doing in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling, what I'm saying, and let this be interactive, okay? If I look down a little bit, it's because I have some notes, because I can go off. Okay. All right. So we're going to be talking about how to reset when you've been feeling off, and really how to recognize these signs. Okay. Because you don't want to avoid the signs, because you'll end up in a funk, in a rut, longer than you should and longer than you expect to. And so we're talking about specifically how this relates to being an entrepreneur. So I really want to hear from you guys. Where are you in your entrepreneurship journey? Okay. Are you working full-time at a job and working part-time when you're fortunate? Okay. Like Jim Rohn always says, are you part-time in your business right now? Are you full-time in your business right now? Or you're here and you follow me because you have a business idea. Okay, you're in that stage of launching, of figuring out how to develop the confidence and the skills and the foundation to actually launch your business. So let me know where you are, if you're part-time in your business, okay, if you're full-time in your business, or are you here because you just have a business idea, okay? You sick and tired of being sick and tired at your job, and you realize that you are someone who wants to do more, be more, and earn more. I always say that. I've always said that is the woman that I serve, because that is where I found myself when I journeyed into entrepreneurship. My gosh, almost 7 years ago. 7 years ago, I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. 7 years ago, my life looked very differently, and I saw entrepreneurship as a way to really start to create and design the life that I wanted to be able to have for my daughter and I. And so, hey, y'all. Oh, y'all make me feel so good. I love it here. See, I should come back. Okay, I plan to come back. I should come back. Okay, all right. So let me know where you are in your entrepreneurship journey, but I always feel like women who make that decision to journey into entrepreneurship, these are often women who are used to excelling in some areas of their life. I find that a lot of my clients and a lot of the women that I've been surrounded by in entrepreneurship can identify with some aspects of perfectionism. Right? We are we got A's and B's. We were top of the class. We always want to do well. We got the awards. We were doing well at work. All of these different things, right? The high achievers, the overachievers. Can you relate? If you're journeying into entrepreneurship and you're also would consider yourself a perfectionist, okay, or a high achiever or overachiever, I find that this type of conversation about how to reset when you're feeling off, or just how to handle some of the mental inner chatter and the mental barriers that come with that type of personality. How can you manage that, and how can you kind of release some of those things as you build a successful business? And so I love that this topic is really for a specific kind of women. So if you identify with that, let me know, because it's very challenging building a business and working to release perfectionism, but that just means that you have to do a lot of inner work. That just means personal development needs to be high at your list. That means you probably are in this space where you're healing some things, some limiting beliefs, that you are working to kind of overcome some limiting beliefs and really kind of dig deeper. That's why you're at the corner of healing and entrepreneurship. Okay. Because perfectionism is something you gotta heal. Limiting beliefs is something you have to heal. So, I find that like when women who are perfectionists or overachievers, or this type of women's journey in entrepreneurship, right? You're used to doing well. You have figured out in the structures and environments that we're raised in school, at work, and at home, you have figured out the rules on how to succeed. Like you figured out really quickly how you could get to the top of your class. You figured out really quickly how you could excel at your job and promote at your job and bring home the awards and bring home the certificates and get the degrees and all of these different things. You figured out how to do that inside the structures and environments that exist naturally. So I'm talking about school. Okay, I'm talking about the work environment. So there's already curriculums and standards in school. You figured out how to master those. There's already like schedules and routines and job requirements and performance evaluations and rubrics. You see where I'm going with this? There's already things that exist in your everyday life that you have figured out how to master in order to succeed. Now, when you journey into entrepreneurship and you become a business owner and you become a CEO, now you have the responsibility to create those structures and environments from scratch. No one is now giving you an assignment. No one is now giving you the job description. No one is now giving you the schedule. No one is giving you the curriculum or the standards or the syllabus. Okay? You're not getting any of that in entrepreneurship. These are things that you have the responsibility to create from scratch. And as you're creating this, you're going to really come up against a lot of mindset work that you have to do. And not only to like implement this with consistency, but also learn to implement these things with a sense of joy and a sense of peace. And so back in my beginning stages of entrepreneurship, the reason why this is so important is because early on, and for a lot of you guys who don't know, I said I'm coming up on my 7th year of entrepreneurship, which is just so insane. Like, because 7's that good number. It's just 7's the year of completion, although I'm nowhere near finished. Okay. I learned very quickly how important personal development was. So this is what we're talking about here. This is mindset, personal development, self-growth. Okay, we're all in the same ballpark here. And part of me developing a system for personal development, the first thing I did was start a morning routine. And that is why that resonates with a lot of women who journey in entrepreneurship, because you realize that you're going to have to create a system for you to win the day. When you add building a business into your daily life, if you're working full-time, if you're a mom, if you're a wife, if you have all of these roles and responsibilities, and you add the additional responsibility of building a business, you start to realize like, okay, I'm gonna have to start waking up a little bit earlier. I'm gonna need to start, reading in the morning. I need to start journaling. Like I have to create a system so I can operate at my fullest potential throughout the day. And I remember like this was something that was so important and pivotal to my success while I was in network marketing. I began to really teach this to my team. Like I just remember like, always telling them the importance of kind of saying to yourself, like, when I am in order, all things flow. If you're watching, like, type that in the chat for me. Because that's really the premise of this video and this live is when I am in order, all things flow. When I am in order, all things flow. If you're watching this replay, I need you to say that out loud to yourself. If you're watching this live right now, I need you to type that in the chat. Because that's an affirmation that I need you to call on That's an affirmation that I need you to remember. That's an affirmation that I need you to write down. That's a note from the good sis. That's not a regular affirmation. That's something that's going to remind you like, okay, when I'm all over the place, baby, I have to be in order. When I am in order, all things flow. And so part of that is recognizing that being in order is setting up things in your physical environment to support your flow. Baby, you got to know what your flow is. Part of knowing what your flow is knowing what you need to wake up in the morning and do. Knowing how your day should look. Knowing how your evenings should look. Knowing things that really allow you to operate at your best. I call this set yourself up for success. Okay? So that's the foundation. That's the education part. I need you to grasp hold of that. And then we just, life be lifing. Like life be lifing. And sometimes you look up and you're noticing some things about your inner voice. You're noticing some things about your levels of productivity or lack thereof. You're noticing some things about your mood. Okay, that was for me. I'll be moody, y'all. Okay. About your irritability, about you procrastinating. You're noticing things like your energy levels, that you might be tired. You lack clarity. You can't think of one content idea to push out. You don't want to show up. You want to hide. Come on, am I talking to myself right now? When you talk to me, we gotta set some parameters for if I'm gonna be going live with y'all. Y'all need to know. First of all, we have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with ourselves. And I really want you to think about all of the things that you start to notice about yourself before you start the self-critical, self-judgment going down that road and speaking so negatively about yourself. So before you say, I'm a procrastinator, I'm inconsistent, I haven't posted, I'm not doing that, before you pass all of that judgment onto yourself, I want you to really get used to let's just state the facts. Right? I want you to pay attention to what you've stopped doing. I want you to pay attention to how you're feeling. I just want you to pay attention. Part of this process is paying attention to yourself because we will get the signs. We will get the signs. We will get the signs when you've been feeling off. And if you can resonate with that and you feel like you're in a safe place where you can be honest with yourself, just type one sign that you've noticed when you've been feeling off. Because for me, baby, I don't want to show up on the Instagram. I don't. That's a big red flag for me. If I don't want to show up in my story. I don't want to post anything. Just gonna mind my business. Right away, that feeling of shrinking and hiding. Right? Without blaming myself. Without calling myself X, Y, and Z, what's really happening? Because that's really part of the process, is being honest with yourself without being judgmental, right? And so I feel like, one, building a business requires so much mental energy, right? Building a business requires so much of your mental energy. Right? It requires mental stability. It requires heightened awareness. It requires good decision making. It requires you to be able to communicate what it is that you want. It requires you to have a certain level of confidence. All of these different things. Right? And I want you to understand how to put yourself in a position to work on these things offline and do that inner work so that you can show up better for yourself first and then for your business. And so I feel like coaching and just like, I have worked with a lot of women, and I have worked with a lot of women over the last 7 years. So it's given me such this heightened awareness of the importance of taking care of yourself, of the importance of prioritizing yourself, the importance of focusing on yourself, the importance of self-care, right? The real self-care and the physical self-care. But it gives me this heightened awareness of also really learning how to set up your environment for emotional success, spiritual success, right? Success in your business, success in motherhood, success in your relationship. It is your responsibility to create systems for you to do well. This goes back to if you did well in school, if you did well at your job, if you're doing well at your job, and you did well in school, it was because you figured out how to master the dynamics of those systems that were already in place. I need to make that clear, because then this puts the responsibility in your core to operate as the CEO of your life. You now have to create these systems. You need life systems when you're an entrepreneur. Hell, you need life systems if you're not, but you really need them when you're in entrepreneurship, right? And so I want you to pay attention to yourself. I want you to really think about the level of self-awareness that you have to be able to identify when you've been feeling off, when you've been feeling all over the place. And I want you to start to ask yourself more questions instead of making these definitive statements that are very judgmental. Because I don't like the way a lot of y'all talk to yourself. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like the critical, judgmental, negative way that you speak to yourself, when we could simply just identify what's going on. Right? So that's really this first step. And I would love to be able to continue this conversation, but I'm a former teacher also, for you guys don't know. Okay. Because I have a little homework. Because we can't be on here all night. We can't do this online. So you have to do some of this stuff offline. I told you about the inner work offline. So I really want you to, one, make a list. This is quick. Don't be mad at me because there's homework. Make a list. Right, exactly. Make a list of all of the personal signs, because they're very specific to you. I gave you some of my own, right? But I want you to make a list of the personal signs that you notice, right? When you start feeling off, when you start feeling all over the place. What starts happening? What do you stop doing? What do you start doing? What do you avoid doing? These are your signs. So it's not just I start procrastinating. Like, what are you procrastinating on? Because sometimes what that leads you to, if you're procrastinating with things specifically in your business, it's probably because you lack clarity. Because a lot of the time when you're feeling off, you're also feeling a little muddy. My good sis back in the day used to be like, my brain is dirty. I never forget that. So anytime I feel like I don't have my mental clarity is not there. It's not giving, and she used to say my brain is dirty. So you'll be able to identify these things, right? Pay attention when your mind starts running, or your self-talk is primarily negative. I want you to pay attention to these things. I want you to write down the signs where you could recognize for your own self when you've been feeling off. And then I want you to make a list of all the things that make you feel good. My clients know this is my favorite. You have to have this list. I need you to have this list. I need you to make a note section of your phone and title it Feel Good List. And I want you to write down all of the things that make you feel good. They can be small acts of self-care. It's some food on mine because they can be big things, they can be small things. It's your list. Like, anybody, it's your list. You ain't even got to show nobody your list. But I do want, if you do the homework, you can DM me. You can let me know you did it. Right? I want you to think about all of the things that invite peace and stability and alignment and joy back into your life. It's a feel-good list. Like, you should at least have 20 things on that list. Let me just give you some examples. I really love to feel the sun on my face. It's an indescribable feeling. It really brings like this inner peace for me. And so having a cup of tea by the window so that the sun could hit my face, or going outside for a walk so the sun could hit my face, is very top tier for me. Cooking dinner with Chrisette Michele playing on the people who know me know this. These are things that make me feel good. These are things that make me feel good. The spa, baby, yes. Okay. The spa. And because not all the time can I incorporate the spa every day, but I can go sit by the window for 5 minutes every day. Right? And I'll notice that a lot of the things on my list are things that I've intentionally built into my morning, built into my evening, because now we're talking about preventative self-care. Right? So I want you to have one I have a lot of windows down. I just love light. Yes, bring the light in. I want you to have your one list of all the signs that you've noticed in your own self when you've been feeling off. And I want you to have a list of all the things that make you feel good. We good? Let's touch and agree that you can give yourself 10 minutes or so to do this. Okay, before you go to bed. You can devote 10 minutes to this exercise, 10 minutes to yourself, 10 minutes of inner work, 10 minutes of prioritizing yourself. And let's continue this conversation next time. Thank you guys. Oh, it's like when I go live, it's such a big deal and you guys hang out with me. All right, I'll see y'all next time.